Anthology on the bad, short-lived, and forgotten shows and events in TV history. You are listening to It Was a Thing on TV.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Episode 550, Submission 1289. Coy and Vance Duke. Coy and Vance Duke were characters on the 5th season of the Dukes of Hazzard from September 24th, 1982 to February 25th, 1983 on CBS for a total of 19 episodes. Now, how many crockpots is that, Mike? 19 episodes.
Well, it's just one with 3 additional episodes.
So it's a crockpot plus 3.
Yes, sir. Or it's a real picture show minus 6.
A real picture show minus 6?
Yes, goes to Bill Armstrong. You heard what I said.
Yeah. Let me just tell you this. These characters, Coy and Vance Duke, they were the drizzling shits. I agree, Ghosts of Bill Armstrong. They were the drizzling shits. Now I'm going to do my version of the Dukes of Hazzard theme since we can't play it due to copyright, obviously, on YouTube. Just a good old boy. Never meet it, no home. Be told you never saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day they were born. Making their way, that way to no how. That's just a little bit old. Well, don't ever fall.
Weren't the Drizzling Shits the basketball team for Hazzard County? Actually, I think those are the Dribbling Shits.
Oh, hold on, Mike. Who's joining us for this episode again?
The original plan for tonight was pulling back the curtain a little bit. I thought I wasn't going to be here because my dad had to go to the hospital today for a procedure. And the last time Dad went for a procedure that I went to was when he had his triple bypass 7 years ago. And that was a 17, 18-hour day. And I just told the guys ahead of time, I said, don't expect me. Just because I thought this procedure would have taken a lot longer. And the procedure only took like 75 minutes. And Dad's home. He's relaxing right now, probably with a big bowl of ice cream. But I said to the guys, just as a backup plan, let's get Aaron Sika aboard, just in case. And even though I'm here, so's Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Dino. Hi, Greg. It's like a Three's Company season 6 with all 4 players.
Okay, who's who? Who's the John Ritter? And who's the Chrissy Snow? And who's the fourth wheel in this Three's Company love rectangle or whatever you want to call it?
Guess I'm the 4th wheel because you 3 are all regulars and I'm the extra, so.
I'm the clumsy oaf, so that would make me John Ritter.
So, wait, does that mean you're the Jenny Lee Harrison?
I guess so.
Could be worse. You could be the Priscilla Barnes.
Now, hold on a second. I'm the Joyce DeWitt. Mike is obviously the Mr. Furley.
No, what? Mr. Furley? I think you forgot somebody there that's a little more important. But I could do Mr. Furley. I mean, Mr. Furley is almost like Tom Poston. What's Jack doing?
Now, hold on a second. I want to do my Mr. Furley laugh to the camera. You couldn't see it, but I was doing my imitation of Mr. Furley.
Now do your Mr. Roper mugging to the camera.
Nobody was good at mugging for the camera more than Norman Fell.
But Norman Fell, he only did the mugging on Three's Company and the Ropers because I was watching Sledgehammer the other day, an episode that we talked about where there was some like deadly virus or bacteria going through the police station, and he was the doctor in this episode, he didn't do any mugging. He was like just a casual doctor. Plus, also, we talked about Norman Fell on Dan August. That's a serious show. You can't do mugging. You can't be like, oh, Dan August, you got into another one. No, that doesn't work. You can't do that. But, so Norman Fell, mugged into the camera, is solely a Three's Company and a Roper's thing. It did not carry over to Sledgehammer. It didn't happen on any other shows he was on. And maybe that's for the best.
Now, we're not here to talk about Norman Fell. We're not here to talk about Three's Company. We're here to talk about the Dukes of Hazzard, damn it.
More specifically, why there was a significant lack of Luke and Bo during season 5.
Yeah, because as we all know, the Dukes of Hazzard, it was a major success for CBS. And the reason you tuned into the Dukes of Hazzard was to see Bo and Luke Duke. You wanted to see Tom Wopat. You wanted to see John Schneider get into some shenanigans with Boss Hogg. You wanted to see them, like, go and chase them around. And then you have, like, the scene where it looks like the cars are about to collide and Waylon Jennings makes a funny remark. And then it turns out, no, it's a cheap camera trick. They weren't really going to collide to each other.
You know, they actually used miniatures for a while for those scenes.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, Secret Galaxy has an interesting little 20-minute history about the Dukes of Hazzard.
So everybody loved the Dukes of Hazzard. Everyone loved Bo and Luke. They loved freaking Boss Hogg, like, getting its comeuppance and everything. And they were about to begin season 5 of the Dukes of Hazzard. But something happened during season 5. Yes, Mike.
How can you forget Daisy Duke?
Oh, that's right. I can't forget about Catherine Bach. Hey, remember when we covered the 3rd annual National Collegiate Cheerleading Championship and Catherine Bach was with Magic Johnson? And also, remember, Mike, in that episode, we saw a promo for a Dukes of Hazzard episode that had Simon McCorkindale with a mustache.
But without a falcon.
Without a falcon. And I also remember we talked about Bill Kazmaier for some reason.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Because we were talking, I don't remember what we were talking about, but we got into the World's Strongest Man competitions.
Yes. And of course, years later, he'd be in WCW with El Gigante. Isn't that right, El Gigante?
I won the belt. I want your belt.
Yes, you do, El Gigante.
We haven't had a El Gigante reference in some time.
No. I think me and Dean, we're going to be talking about El Gigante real soon. Because we're going to be doing WrestleMania 9. And as a matter of fact, there's going to be a Peacock documentary on WrestleMania 9 coming up. Because WrestleMania is in Vegas, and that was the last WrestleMania in Vegas prior to this year. Wait a second. No. Oh, no. Oh, I just remembered. Okay, WrestleMania 9. He's not coming, right? Chico, you don't see him, right? I'm not talking about John Cena. Okay, good. Because I do not want to hear anything about the beer. I do not want to hear anything about the beer again, okay? No, I don't want to hear about how he slammed Andre the Giant and then he died like 5 minutes after the match.
I was thinking of something else entirely, Greg.
Okay, well, you know, he likes to exaggerate things. All right, No, he's not here. Oh, thank God.
Hey, little Hulkamaniacs!
Oh!
I was in the area, so I want to see how you guys are doing. You taking your vitamins? You eating your pasta mania?
Yeah, we are eating our pasta mania, okay? You'll be happy to know we're eating our pasta mania.
And you're drinking your real American beer when you have your pasta mania?
No.
Okay, now go to Aaron.
Aaron, this is the crap.
What to say?
He's speechless.
I'm sorry.
I just want to apologize for these two jokers, Aaron.
What are you talking about? I'm not a joker. I was in the neighborhood, want to see how you guys are doing. Make sure you're having your Hulka pasta, Hulka vitamins, Hulka burning love. Glad to hear you guys are taking your vitamins. You could be as strong and popular as me one day.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Chico's right. That's the answer. No, thank you. Nothing else needs to be said about that.
Yeah. We don't need that. Please go. Okay, Holzer. We don't want to boo you off the stage.
All right.
Speak for yourself. I'm ready.
Anybody see the Ghost of Bill Armstrong?
Boo!
Why are you booing the Ghost of Bill Armstrong?
He
No.
said the ghost of Bill Armstrong.
No, I love the Ghost of Bill Armstrong. I hate your crappy pasta.
So I'm going to go with Ghost of Bill Armstrong. We're going to solve some cold cases in Vancouver.
You're not coming with me, Hulkster. Get the fuck away from me.
They love me in Canada. Me and Wayne Gretzky.
Nope.
No.
No. They don't love Wayne Gretzky no more. Tell you what, old and busted Wayne Gretzky, new hotness, Alex Ovechkin.
No, don't say that. He's a Putin lover.
Ooh.
Oh, you mean I can go hang out with Alex Ovechkin?
Yes.
Me, Wayne Gretzky, Alex Ovechkin. Combined, we have like 1,800 goals in the NHL. Admittedly, I got none of them.
Get out of here, Hulk. Boo this man.
No, I'm leaving
this is
before you boo me. No, I'm out of here.
Guy thinks he could have been the lead guitarist for Metallica. Come on, give me a break. Okay, I'm trying to talk about the Dukes of Hazzard here. All right? It was a very popular show. Everyone loved Bo and Luke Duke. But, Chico, what happened right before season 5?
By the end of season 1, the tone was fairly established. Family-friendly antics beats hard driving beats stunt jumps. The formula was established. Before the 5th season started to roll, John Schneider and Tom Wopat, they became increasingly disillusioned with the writing of the show, because antics, jump, more antics. It's a permaplot, basically. They became disillusioned with all of that, and they also started to grouse over their pay and royalties for what was a top 5 show, if not the most popular show on CBS, if not all of network television.
I think Dallas would disagree with that, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, Dallas was 1. I think Dukes would be 2.
Knots Landing?
Yeah, I guess you could say Knots Landing was 2, because at this point, it's like now Knots Landing is getting like really huge at this point. It's in like its 4th season, I think. I'm still near the end of season 2, by the way.
If we're talking scripted shows, maybe Knots Landing was 2. I have 60 Minutes as the number 2 show for the season, and that's in 1981-82. And then Alice is 5th. Jeffersons are 3rd. One Day at a Time is 10th. Let me see where Dallas and all those sort of fit in this. Okay, Dukes of Hazzard is 6th. And Dallas was 1st. And Falcon Crest was 13th. So it was like the 5th highest rated show on CBS, even though it was the 6th highest rated show in television. How about that?
Before this 5th season, which, by the way, you get into the 5th season, it automatically kicks off, runs in off-broadcast syndication. So that would be more royalty money. Plus, of course, we all know the Dukes of Hazzard was very marketable at this time, so you had Duke's lunch boxes, you had action figures, you had the General Lee model kits from Ertl or Revell, or one of those two things. But you had all of that, but they weren't seeing as much money as everybody else was. As a result, they brought their grievances to the powers that be, and the powers that be responded by firing John Schneider and Tom Wopat. This created a bit of a problem, because if you're a big fan of the Dukes of Hazzard, you know that Bo and Luke are on probation, and one of the stipulations is they cannot leave Hazzard County. They were written out of the show as having joined the NASCAR circuit.
That rates, even though NASCAR wouldn't really hit it big for probably another 10 to 15 years.
But they would have to have left Hazzard County to join the circuit.
Maybe it might be one of those localized NASCAR circuits, because I know we have one at the Riverhead Raceway, which is like the Whelen Truck Series, and that's affiliated with NASCAR.
Who do you get to replace Bo and Luke Duke, because they were central to the entire show? You get their Family Dollar doubles, Coy and Vance Duke. We have as Bizarro. we have as Bizarro.
What'd you say?
Bizarro Luke Duke!
No, Bizarro Whammy was in the movie. Get it out of here.
Hold on, I think we have our Bizarro Duke boys here.
You don't look like Bo Duke to me!
How you doing, Bizarro Luke Duke?
Doing very good.
I guess that makes me Enos.
Be quiet, Catherine Bach!
Replacing Bo Duke would be cousin Coy Duke, played by Byron Cherry. Byron Cherry, a native of Atlanta, Georgia, unlike John Schneider, actually did the voice of Coy Duke on the short-lived Saturday morning show, The Dukes. Everything else in his listing on IMDb is just one-offs. There's even a thing called Stand On It in 2020 where he was himself.
So this actually did kill his career. Well, not just killed his career, this was his career, essentially.
And then you have his cousin Vance Duke, a.k.a. Bizarro Luke Duke, played by Christopher Mayer, who would actually have a bigger career than Byron Cherry did.
That's not a high bar.
But we did actually talk about him before on one of Greg's Money in the Bank picks, 18 Wheels of Justice.
That's right. And hold on a second, guys. He was in 4 episodes of Silk Stockings.
So he was on Silk Stockings and he got to work with Catherine Bach. That's a win-win.
You want to talk about a win-win-win?
Oh, hold on. I'm going to say it, Chico.
Say it.
He was married to Terry Copley.
Oh! He had it made. I can't believe I said that. No, that's bad for me. I'm sorry.
That's terrible.
And you know what's even more amazing? Looking at his Wikipedia page, he had 3 wives.
Another thing that we talked about him on previously, he was on Platypus Man. Wait, he was doing all those WB shows back in the day. Platypus Man, and he was on an episode of Pigsty. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. He was on an episode of Platypus Man and an episode of Pigsty.
He was on 2 episodes of Weird Science as 2 different characters.
But that was a good show. I loved Weird Science on USA back in the day.
Oh, I did too. That needs to be rerun somewhere.
Even though there was no Kelly LeBrock.
Vanessa Angel's a good substitute, let's be honest. Oh, by the way, Kingpin is coming to 4K UHD from Kino Lorber very soon.
Oh, nice. Christopher Mayer, no longer with us. He died in 2011.
But you married Terry Copley, so you're a legend to us. Even if you were Vance Duke.
And also, speaking of Terry Copley, she was on the first week of the new Liars Club. Hey, goes to Bill Armstrong.
That's right. She was there. She was with the hustle and bustle in Vancouver with me, too.
The rest of the cast remained unchanged, with Catherine Bach as Daisy Duke, Denver Pyle as Uncle Jesse, James Best as Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane, Sorrel Brooke as Boss J.D. Hogg, Ben Jones as Cooter Davenport, the honorary Duke.
The honorary Cooter. I'm sorry. I was hoping you'd say that. The honorary Cooter. And anybody else besides the honorary Cooter?
Sonny Schroyer as Deputy Enos, and as the balladeer, Waylon Jennings.
So we got 19 episodes. So let's get started, shall we? And I got to get ready because these are some long-ass episode descriptions that they put on Truth by Consensus Wikipedia. Episode 1 of Season 5 is called The New Dukes. Bo and Luke have left Hazzard to fulfill a lifelong dream of racing on the NASCAR circuit. Boss Hogg is so happy about it that he unleashes his ultimate secret weapon, the Mean Green Machine. It is a monstrous vehicle which is part of Boss Hogg's plan to rob the Bank of Capital City. But the robbery of the Bank of Capital City is just a test run of the Mean Green Machine. Boss's actual plan for the Mean Green Machine is much bigger than a bank robbery. Boss and 2 men that he hired, Josh Scroggins and Hatfield, have a money printing press hidden away, and they have the right paper to print money on, but they need engraving plates to print the money with. An armored truck that'll be passing through Hazzard County has U.S. Mint plates in it that will print $100 bills, and Boss plans to have Scroggins and Hatfield use the Mean Green Machine to hijack the armored truck so that they can get the plates. But Boss is unaware that Bo and Luke's cousins, Coy and Vance, have returned to Hazzard after a 6-year absence to help Jesse and Daisy run the Duke for him. Also, Enos returns to Hazzard from Los Angeles and is sworn in as a deputy to Roscoe, which gives Roscoe 2 deputies, Cletus and Ennis. So this is Sonny Schroyer's return to the show as Enos for the cancellation of the spinoff Enos, which we may or may not cover one day. Who knows?
You said that was the Mean Green Machine?
Yeah.
Oh, for a second I was hoping you'd say it was the Lean, Mean, Fat Reducing Grilling Machine. R.I.P. George Foreman.
Or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Which is the worst Sonic game there is. I'm sorry. I do not like that game.
Well, it's basically just a reskin Piro game.
I get that, but still, it's just a crappy game compared to everything else, and I'm even saying that despite not liking Sonic Spinball.
You don't like Sonic Spinball?
What?
If I get past the first level, I might enjoy it a little more. Chico, I know you're like shocked. I love pinball, so you'd think Sonic Spinball would be a natural fit. It just doesn't do it for me because, like I said, I can't get past that first level for whatever reason.
Sorry, Chico. I'm with Mike. Love the Sonic games, but I never got into Sonic Spinball, and I'm also a huge pinball person. Mike probably may or may not remember that.
Okay, guest stars.
Playing Scroggins, William Russ, a.k.a. Alan Matthews, Corey's daddy on Boy Meets World.
Episode 2, Duke Strike It Rich. Boss Hogg swindles newlyweds Jeb and Carrie Morton into buying a worthless piece of land next to the Duke farm. So the Dukes try to help the Mortons by scamming Boss Hogg, cleverly making it look like they have found gold on the property so that Boss Hogg will buy the property back. Oh, that Boss Hogg, he thought that he was going to be swindling this happy couple, but guess what? The tables have turned on him. Episode 3, Lawman of the Year. Boss Hogg hires 2 demolition experts, Jack Morris, no, not that one, and his sidekick, Burnett. Well, I want to be clear. It's not the pitcher, Jack Morris. He wasn't doing anything in between pitching for the Tigers.
So he didn't find his way to Hazzard County, Georgia.
No, he's in Detroit. What the hell is he going to do it going all the way to Georgia?
Play the Braves? I don't know.
They don't have Interleague Play in 82 yet, Chico. Jeez.
Come on, we know he doesn't know sports. Just move on. But actually, it's also not Morris the Cat. Oh, that would be great if Morris the Cat was on anything. This surly orange cat. I only like having 9 lives.
All right. They're going to rob the Hazzard County jewelry store. So Coy and Vance check into it while being chased by Cletus and Enos. When Boss sends Roscoe to arrest Coy and Vance in order to get them out of the way, Roscoe refuses because he has nominated himself for the Lawman of the Year award. And as it turns out, Enos and Cletus are both elected Lawman of the Year.
Playing Ms. Tisdale, Deidre Voles.
All right, Mike, just get it out of your system. Just say how much you love her.
There is life after different strokes, apparently.
It don't matter that she got not a lot, so what?
Well, this would have been a little bit over a year before she made it big on Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. There is another name, though, in this episode. Playing Morris, talking about Morris the Cat and whatever else, Jack Morris. Duke Stroud. Maybe not well known for any one role, but the thing that caught my eye is Duke Stroud is the brother of Don Stroud, who we've definitely talked about in the past. And Don Stroud is one of those people who makes quite a few appearances on Pick Your Quinn Martin show here. I know I've seen his name pop up on Canon. I know I've seen it on Adam 12. I know that's not a Quinn Martin show, but still seen his name there. He's basically that guy from that crime drama. Cannon, Barnaby Jones, The Rookies. Again, not Quinn Martin, but same genre.
Episode 4. Coy meets girl. Some old friends of Jesse's are moving from Hazzard to Loomis, and Coy and Vance are driving their antiques to their new home in Loomis for them. Coy and Vance are hijacked and robbed by Clooney and Potter, a pair of crooks that Boss Hogg has hired to do the hijacking. What no one knows is that a teenage runaway named Bobby Lee Jordan stowed away in the back of the truck and saw the whole thing. Bobby Lee ends up at the Duke farm where she has a crush on Coy. Clooney and Potter hear about Bobby Lee witnessing the hijacking, and they will stop at nothing to silence her.
Uh-oh.
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 Hey, you want to get another soundbite out of the way? Playing Bobby Lee in this episode is Michelle Green. Michelle Green played Abby Perkins on 105 episodes of LA Law. Down the elevator shaft you go, Diana Muldaur.
I really didn't want to talk about it.
Oh my God!
Episode 5, Hazard Gate Tape. Boss Hogg has reaped a bonanza through hijacking stolen cars and bootlegging, thanks to a new state highway. But there are other counties that the highway runs through. Sharkey, Hopkins, and Bowman, the even more corrupt commissioners of 3 of these counties, want Boss to pay for refusing to share the loot. And their plan is to take over Hazzard County. The Dukes have no choice but to team up with Boss Hogg to save Hazzard County from a fate worse than Boss Hogg. Oh my God. So, guys, it's bigger jaws. Coy and Vance and Boss Hogg, they have a common enemy, so now they got to team up. The Dukes let Boss Hogg hide out at the farm until Coy and Vance can expose Sharkey, Hopkins, and Bowman by tape recording a conversation between them. Well, I hope they don't have the secretary that Richard Nixon had when recording the Watergate tapes.
Timely reference there, only 10 years late. Hey, we do have 2 names, or at least in my mind, 2 names. There's one really big name, and there's another one that I think deserves mentioning. Playing himself in this episode is Mel Tillis.
Yeah, he's the Speed Trap guest.
And I don't think you specifically mentioned this, but it looks like there's a number of bosses in this episode. We have a boss Sharkey, and we have a boss Hopkins, and we have a boss Bowman. And the boss Bowman actually is a bit of a name. He's played by William Bramley. The one credit I see that sort of, like in my mind, it's like, oh, I know exactly who he is in West Side Story, the movie, back in 1961. He was Officer Krupke. They had a song about Officer Krupke in West Side Story. Do none of you care about West Side Story?
I love West Side Story. You know I love musicals, Mike.
Officer Krupke, for heaven's sake. And he also guested on 3 episodes of Barnaby Jones.
A Quinn Martin production.
And 4 of Streets of San Francisco. Also
a Quinn Martin production.
I gotta go for 3. I want to see if he was on Dan August. We gotta go for the hat trick here. He was on an episode of Cannon, close enough. And also 2 episodes of McMillan and Wife, not a Quinn Martin production, but a darn good production in and of itself.
Ain't that right, Susan? Episode 6, Big Daddy. Boss Hogg frames Coy and Vance by putting a stolen license plate on the General Lee. But Boss calls off the chase when he's told that his father, who is supposedly a good Samaritan, is coming to Hazzard. And after coming to Hazzard, Big Daddy Hogg has his driver rob Boss Hogg safe at City Hall. His dad is called Big Daddy Hogg.
No, there's a joke. I'm not touching it. No.
Big Daddy Hogg is actually played by a big name in voiceover, a big name in radio, and a big name on Shazam, Les Tremaine. He played Mentor on Shazam. He was the guy who drove Billy Batson all over the place because, as you recall, Billy Batson, when not Captain Marvel back then, was only a kid.
Okay, I'm just mentioning this because we've never mentioned this show before in 550 episodes. He apparently did voices on all 13 episodes of the Kid and Play cartoon from 1990.
Yeah!
Wow, that's something I haven't thought of in like over 30 years, the Kid and Play cartoon.
It's a shame that Greg and I are not in the same room. We could get up and do the little foot thing that Kid and Play used to do.
Now I'm in the mood to watch House Party.
Me too.
Episode 7, Vance's Lady. Vance's former girlfriend, Jenny Walden, comes to Hazzard to see Vance, and Jenny's being chased by Wade and Duggan, associates of crooked state senator Jason W. Maynard, who are trying to kill Jen because she witnessed Senator Maynard embezzling state funds. The Dukes try to convince the terrified Jenny to report Maynard to the Senate Crime Commission. But when Wade and Dugan trick Boss into helping him find Jenny, will it be too much for the Dukes to handle?
We do have one name in this episode playing Wade is Gary Grubbs, and we definitely talked about him in the past because he was on 7 episodes of Half Nelson, if you remember that, with Joe Pesci. But also, he had an occasional role on Will and Grace. He was Harlan Polk, specifically 1998 to 99, 11 episodes. But also the place I remember him from, and this actually sort of ties in very nicely with the whole Dukes of Hazzard thing. He was on 3 episodes of Married with Children. He was on an episode from the final season where he played a very shady car dealer. But he was also in the 2-part season 2 debut, Poppies by the Tree, where all the Bundys go to a very shady motel in the deep south, and the people are sort of, let's say, backwards. I think you know where I'm trying to go there. He played Delbert, one of the citizens who actually is kind of prevalent throughout this episode, or through these 2 episodes, I should say. He's another one of those people, if you saw his face, you know who he is.
Oh, definitely. Episode 8, Hazzard Hustle. You know what? I need to give my voice a rest from reading these long intros. So, given what this is about, Chico, how about you do this as Mike Francesa?
So Boss Hogg opens up a crooked horse betting saloon in Arapahoe County, and in order to keep himself covered, Boss uses the Dukes family's phones, the phone lines, to frame the Dukes for it. Big Billy Tucker, the commissioner of Arapahoe County, threatens to have Bull, the muscle-bound henchman, kill Boss if he does not include her in the scam. Now the Dukes have to outmaneuver Tucker and Bull and the Hoss to outsmart Boss. Playing Big Billy Tucker, Joy Garrett was in episodes of Days of Our Lives, Remington Steele, and Star Trek The Next Generation. Woohoo! And previous entry, Easy Street. She played Wanda on Easy Street. She was in an episode of Night Court where she played Hooker number 2.
Oh, so as we've established on this podcast, the number 2 on the podcast is more famous.
Number 2s usually are more famous. What?
No, I'm just saying. Just ask whoever was stripper number 2 on It's Always Sunny. It was either Tasha
That was
Leggero
Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish. Yeah, it was one of those two.
Well, no, I was making a joke about number 2s. Poops are usually a little more popular than. Never mind.
Shit.
Exactly. Oh shit, that's what I was talking about.
Oh. Episode 9, Enos in Trouble. Enos's footlocker is shipped back to Hazzard from Los Angeles. Oh, that's terrible. They moved his entire footlocker. Oh, no, it's not the store. Oh, never mind. And Enos and the Dukes pick it up at the depot, not knowing that a pair of crooked Carter and Burke have hidden a fortune in stolen emeralds inside Enos's flashlight, where its batteries are supposed to be. Carter and Burke are at Hazzard to get the emeralds, and to top it off, Boss Hogg hears about the emeralds, and he also wants them. Well, that's very typical of Boss Hogg. He will see those emeralds, and he's like, I'm going to steal those damn emeralds and get them for myself, because I'm Boss Hogg, damn it.
A name in this episode playing Burke is Anthony Isley, kind of an older actor. He was known for playing Tracy Steele on Hawaiian Eye. There's a show that I don't think we've talked about ever, Hawaiian Eye.
And playing Carter is Brett Halsey, who originated the role of John Abbott on The Young and the Restless. Episode 10, The Great Insurance Fraud. Boss Hogg's new insurance fraud scam is threatened when con artist Ward S. Davis and his girlfriend, Lavinia Gray, pull a phony car accident at Bottomless Lake after buying a $1 million policy from Boss Hogg. Lavina wants Boss Hogg to give him the $1 million, but Coy is afraid of driving anymore because he was sideswiped during the fake accident, and he believes that he killed Ward. Vance sets out to figure out what really happened, but he ends up kidnapped. Can Coy overcome this fear of driving in time to help the rest of the Dukes find Ward and Lavina and rescue Vance?
Got a name in this episode. Playing said girlfriend, Lavinia, Melanie Vince played the adult version of DJ on an episode of Full House. You might remember it's the episode where they imagine themselves like 10 or so years into the future and they're adults. She was also in some show with Monty Hall in the 80s called Let's Make a Deal. You might have heard of it.
Well, this episode sure has been fun. And I really need to rest a bit. So how about we enjoy some 1982-83 commercials from CBS? And we'll come right back.
And now, these messages.
Tonight on CBS.
While I'm babysitting.
But this baby hates this baby, and Magnum's caught in the middle. Then on Simon & Simon, Rick and AJ are hired to protect twin sisters, but are they guarding the right one? And on Knots Landing, Mac gets caught red-handed with another woman. Action, adventure, and drama tonight.
Saturday on CBS's Walt Disney, Dean Jones is coach of the worst track team in the world. And these old ladies will lose everything to a crooked gambler unless Suzanne Plachette can break the bank. But there's more going on than meets the eye when invisible Peter Ustinov joins the action. In the network television premiere of Blackbeard's Ghost. Monday.
You're not invited. Life is weird.
No one has ever been so publicly humiliated.
How will the Square Pegs finagle an invitation to see Devo at Muffy's party? And on Private Benjamin, has Captain Lewis finally captured the limelight? Two great comedies. Monday.
Meet Secret Agent 001. He's 11 and he's trying to impress this girl. He's on a wild adventure with real crooks and real spies on Secret Agent Boy, Friday.
Sunday on CBS, when Barney can't pay his bar tab, will Archie foot the bill? And why is Gloria pretending Dr. Adams is dead?
I buried him in the cellar.
Then will George Jefferson use his head to crack a tough case?
Oh, you need a battering ram. Quick, grab Mr. Jefferson.
And on One Day at a Time, will Julie have her baby?
In the bathtub?
Then on Trapper John, Riverside is fired.
We can fight this thing. I'll get Trapper down here. He'll blow the lid off the place.
It's all happening Sunday.
Tomorrow, the tight-fisted defense of the USC Trojans against the record-breaking John Elway and the Stanford Cardinals. NCAA football tomorrow on CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed those 1982 to 83 commercials for all the hot shows coming up on CBS. Now let's resume with episode 11 of this season, called A Little Game of Pool. The 37th annual Tri-Counties Amateur Pool Championship at the Boar's Nest is coming up, and Jesse is one of the competitors. Boss Hogg is trying to get his hands on the General League, so he can sell to Joe Landis and Don Purcell, a pair of hijackers who need a good getaway car. Landis and Purcell have put together a list of every payroll shipment in the state, and Boss Hogg's plan is for Landis and Purcell to hijack the shipments and split them with Boss Hogg. When Landis and Purcell try to steal the General Lee, they are stopped by the Dukes, so Boss Hogg challenges Jesse to a game of pool, Ridge Runner style, and he tricks Jesse into wagering the General Lee. Jesse is a better pool player than Boss is, but Boss still has some dirty tricks up his sleeve, such as naming Chickasaw Fins as Jesse's opponent, because no one has ever beaten Chickasaw Fins. Jesse loses the General in the game, and now the Dukes have to find the General and get it back from Landis and Purcell, who have painted the General Lee black. Well, I'm going to be quite honest. In 2025, them painting the General Lee black would make them the good guys.
Getting to some guest stars, playing that Don Purcell that Greg mentioned is Jesse D. Goins. He played Siler Johnson on 21 episodes of The Greatest American Hero. But also playing that Chickasaw Thins, not Minnesota Fats, Chickasaw Thins. That's actually kind of clever now that I think about it. But playing Chickasaw Thins is Robert V. Barron. He played Abraham Lincoln in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I think that's all I need to say.
Well, you know what? He's no Rex Hamilton, Mike.
But Rex Hamilton, you only see him in that one scene in every episode of Police Squad. You don't see him, throughout an episode. You don't see him just randomly appearing with Frank Drebin. And no, that wouldn't make any sense. And I've taken a look at his IMDb. That's like the only thing he did of any consequence. Rex Hamilton is Abraham Lincoln. That's it. Not even joking.
Interesting note about Robert Barron. He also played Abraham Lincoln on Out of This World, and he also played Abraham Lincoln on Get a Life.
Is this like that one dude in The Last Precinct who played Elvis?
Yes. That's exactly what it's like.
He's stereotyped to play Abraham Lincoln. Oh my gosh.
Too bad DNA tests weren't a thing back then. He might have been related.
Oh, I can only imagine the episode of Maury.
You are not the president.
Episode 12, The Treasure of Soggy Marsh. Boss Hogg frames Coy, Vance, and Daisy for the theft of his gold cufflinks and has them arrested by Chickasaw County Sheriff Ed Little and makes Enos busy doing things that do not even need to be done. Boss Hogg wants Enos and the Dukes out of the way, so Biff Gregory and his associate Pruitt, two men that Boss Hogg has made a deal with, can go ahead with their plan to search Soggy Marsh for $500,000 to the man named Kingston robbed from a bank 10 years ago. Instead of keeping them away, Boss's efforts actually spur the Dukes to escape and try to find out what is going on. But when Daisy finds Gregory and Pruitt first, she gets kidnapped, and it's up to Coy, Vance, and Jesse to rescue her.
Maybe this is a name. I'll say it because there's a Star Trek connection here. But playing Pruitt in this episode is Andrew Robinson. Andrew Robinson played Garrick in 37 episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh, yes.
So you know who that is. Okay.
Yes. Episode 13, The Revenge of Huey Hogg. Roscoe is up for re-election, and Boss Hogg has no problem whatsoever supporting Roscoe, until Boss Hogg's nephew, Huey Hogg, returns to Hazard to run against Roscoe for sheriff. Huey blackmails Boss into helping Huey by showing Boss some evidence of a crooked deal that Boss made involving more than $10,000 worth of stolen telephone answering machines. The man who stole them wants Boss to fence them. Knowing that Huey would be a lot worse than Roscoe, the Dukes campaign to get Roscoe reelected. However, since Huey never plays fair, he has Boss suspend Roscoe and try to arrest the Dukes. The Dukes have to get creative and find a way to outsmart Huey so they can get Boss back on Roscoe's side and stop Huey from getting elected. And playing Huey Hogg, Jeff Altman.
Got another name in this episode, though. Playing Lulu Hogg, a recurring character. I believe this is her first appearance in this season. Peggy Ray, Gene Kelly from Grace Under Fire, and Grandma Foster on season 1 of Step by Step.
Okay. But guys, episode 14. It's the return of the Mean Green Machine. Boss Hogg plans to use the Mean Green Machine to steal the $1 million Jefferson Davis coin collection from the Hazard Gold and Silver Emporium. But the machine gets stolen from Boss Hogg's henchmen by Baxter and Hatfield, a pair of crooks who plan to use it to steal the gold collection themselves. Coy and Vance take on the machine and manage to damage it. Baxter and Hatfield need a mechanic to fix it, so they kidnap Cooter and hold him hostage. Coy and Vance recognize Hatfield as one of the men who originally drove the machine for Boss Hogg a few months ago. Hatfield and Baxter escaped from prison, and now they are after the gold coin collection. Hey, guess who's back, guys? Nedra Vols. Are you happy, Mike?
She had to have a little side hustle before she got that Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour gig. She couldn't live off that Different Strokes money. No.
Episode 15. Ding dong, the boss is dead. Floyd Calloway has hired Matt Mallory and Lorna Mallory to kill Boss Hogg because 20 years ago, Boss and Calloway were running moonshine together, and when federal agents started closing in on them, Boss turned state's evidence against Calloway so Boss could avoid prosecution. Feeling that Boss is in danger, the Dukes help Boss, and they plan to make Calloway think that Boss is dead. That way, Calloway and the Mallorys will leave Boss alone.
We do have a name in this episode. Playing Matt is Rick Hill. We talked about him previously because he played Al Gordine on Today's FBI.
Episode 16, Coy versus Vance. You know who directed this episode, guys? Sorrel Book. So you know this is going to be quality. A pair of crooks have been disguising as motorcycle cops and robbing drivers on the road. Vance suspects that the robbers are Coy's new girlfriend, motorcycle stuntwoman Billy Ann Baxley, and her sister Kate Baxley. But it leads to a fight between Coy and Vance, causing Coy to leave the farm. Can Vance convince Coy of the truth?
Playing Billy Ann in this episode, Sean Weatherly.
Also, we have talked about her in the past because she played Jill Starbuck on JJ Starbuck.
Yes. Episode 17, Comrade Duke. A Russian gymnastics team is passing through Hazard, and it stops at Cooter's garage to get their bus service. The team's star gymnast, Natasha, escapes and hides out in the bed of Jesse's pickup truck in the hopes that she can get to Detroit, Michigan, where she has relatives. Problem is, a group of KGB officials and their leader, Boroff, were on the bus to prevent anyone on the bus from defecting. The Duke's always glad to help anyone in need find Natasha in the back of Jesse's truck, and they decide to help her escape from Boroff, who will stop at nothing to find her, and he even seeks the help of Boss Hogg. You know what, KGB guy? This is not a good idea. I don't think going to Boss Hogg is going to help you, okay?
We do have a name, and this is like a very tenuous name. This is not a big name by any stretch, but playing that gymnast Natasha you talked about is Dawn Jeffrey. The only reason I remember the name is maybe about 3 weeks ago, as of the time of the recording, she was a panelist on Match Game in like 1980. And I actually had to do a little search. Who is Dawn Jeffrey? I didn't know who she was. She was obviously doing something at the time, but she was on Match Game for a week in 1980 and was also on Match Game PM at some point in 1980. And actually, now that I'm looking at her IMDb, I am reminded that she was credited as being on General Hospital in 1980, but for 11 episodes. And she got a Match Game and Match Game PM gig out of it? Good on her.
But this is when General Hospital was getting big, Mike. This was at the start of the whole Luke and Laura stuff.
I get all that, but I'm just saying she appeared on 11 episodes, and somehow that parlayed into being on a week of Match Game in 1980 in season 2, and also being on Match Game PM in whatever season that was, season 6, season 7, season 6, I think.
Episode 18, Witness Jesse Duke. Now, this is the last episode before Bo and Luke come back, but we'll get to that. Boss Hogg is trying to buy gas pumps from a crook named Hanson. Gas pumps that would severely overcharge whoever buys gas from Boss Hogg's stations. Jesse is blinded by a blow to the face while trying to stop a bank robbery. His eyesight might not return. The robbers, Porker and his accomplice Rick, do not want any witnesses, so they go to Hazzard County to track Jesse down, planning to kill him. Coy, Vance, and Daisy decide to hide Jesse at Boss Hogg's house while they try to stop Parker and Rick. Now, playing Parker is Judson Scott, who Chico played Joaquin, albeit uncredited, in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And we did talk about him because he was in The Powers of Matthew Starr, another Harv Bennett joint. I'm sorry, Mike, that I had to bring up The Powers of Matthew Starr again.
Well, as a palate cleanser, I'll give you another name. Playing that Hanson character you mentioned is Noble Willingham from Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, yeah. You know, we should play that famous thing everyone remembers from Walker, Texas Ranger.
I think what we need to do is actually have like a lever built in somewhere, and we can pull the lever and play that clip anytime we want. I know Conan O'Brien did that like 25 years ago. Whatever, I don't care.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Oh, Haley Joel Osment, you're just a riot.
Okay, so Chico, what happened after this?
Basically, ratings took a nosedive. People did not buy the false Dukes. Byron Cherry and Christopher Mayer, they would be seen off in, I believe it was Act 1 or the Prelude or something to that effect. They would go off and help somebody who needed help. And then, in the next act, in comes Bo and Luke, who apparently won big in the NASCAR circuit. And that was basically all of the explanation and exposition that we were given.
Let me recap this episode, okay? Episode 19, Welcome Back, Bo and Luke. Bo and Luke returned to Hazzard County after a great season on the NASCAR circuit, where they won in Mobile, Alabama. They wanted to come home because they missed Hazzard County too much to stay away. Coy and Vance have decided to leave Hazzard to take care of their Uncle Albert and Aunt Bessie's farm while Albert is in the hospital. As Bo and Luke soon discover, things are still pretty much the same in Hazzard. For the past couple months, Cooter has been moonlighting at the Chickasaw garage and getting hardly any sleep, and for a good reason. Boss Hogg has deliberately raised Cooter's mortgage to a balloon payment of $5,000 so Boss can have a reason to foreclose on Cooter's garage, because Boss wants to build a new shopping center in its place. Also, NASCAR driver Petey Willis has come out of retirement to prepare for the Atlanta 500. But Petey's car crashes during a practice run after Cooter worked on it and installed high-performance gas hoses in the engine. Petey's daughter, Sarah Ann, gets upset and blames Cooter, so a devastated Cooter decides to sell the Hazzard garage to Boss Hogg and move to the mountains to become a recluse. Boss tells Roscoe to take the Hazzard's garage deed to Atlanta and record it. Bo and Luke figure out the cause of the crash. The pressure going through the fuel line burst a hole in the line, spraying gas all over the manifold. The Dukes are surprised that the manifold did not burn up in an attempt to kill Petey. Someone removed the high-performance fuel hose that Cooter installed and installed the new low-performance store-bought fuel line in its place, knowing that it would blow and cause Petey to wreck. Sarah Ann tells Bo and Luke that Petey's backup driver, Joey Bryant, is not exactly happy about the idea of Petey driving in the Atlanta 500 because Joey himself wants to drive in the Atlanta 500. It was Joey who installed the low-performance fuel line in Petey's car. It turns out that Joey wanted Petey out of the way because Joey had bet on someone else to win the Atlanta 500, and he stands a good chance of losing the bet unless Petey is out of the race. While Bo and Luke go after Joey, Jesse tells Cooter what is going on, and Daisy comes up with a plan to stop Roscoe from reporting the deed to the Hazzard garage.
We do have a name playing Petey in this episode. Petey's played by Donald May. If you're a fan of soap operas back in the 60s and 70s, you might recognize the name because he played Adam Drake on The Edge of Night for 2,769 episodes. For 2,769 episodes.
Nice.
Plus 2,700. But another name, this is great, playing Joey. A year before this, roughly, he was a contestant on Password Plus. A year after this, he beat Automan, Chuck Wagner.
And guys, in another year, he's going to make a trip to Zippers.
I want to know how you'd play that in. That's beautiful.
Let's just get this out of the way. Nobody liked Coy and Vance. Nobody.
Once they left Hazzard County, they were never spoken of, by, or about for the rest of the run of the Dukes of Hazzard by anyone.
You may remember at the beginning of the episode, like 3 hours ago, I mentioned that the Dukes of Hazzard in 1981-82 was, I think, the 6th highest rated show in television. During the Coy and Vance season, it dropped to 30th.
Don't kill the golden goose, guys. I guess that's the lesson here.
Or pay your employees the wages they deserve. I'm not wrong. I mean, if you're stars and you're making millions upon millions of dollars for the company and for the big wigs, you should be getting a little bit of that money.
And how many more seasons was Dukes on? Like another 2 seasons?
2 seasons and a set of reunion movies.
Well, they definitely killed the golden goose by not paying Bo and Luke. And unfortunately, Coy and Vance, for 19 episodes, were a horrendous thing on TV.
You can find us at our website, itwasathingontv.com, on Facebook at It Was a Thing on TV Podcast, and elsewhere at It Was a Thing on TV. You can find us on any podcast player, and we're also on YouTube, where you can subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our releases, including what's coming up next time.
What happens when one of the greatest teen idols of the 1970s decides to go in a different direction with his career?
And when we say different, we mean the polar opposite of what he was known for.
And really, like, when you think about this, it's like, what?
Truth be told, I've never even heard of this.
We'll find out in our next installment of It Was a Thing on TV. I'm Greg, that was Mike, that was Chico, and once again, Aaron, thank you for joining us once again.
You are welcome. Always happy to join you.
And we'll see you with that next episode coming down the pike real soon. Wow!
Hello, Baltimore. Reach for the stars.
Hey, you
boys know the way to Channel 11?
Yeah, just follow us.
You hear that? Go on, follow.
Even though your favorite CBS shows have moved to Channel 11,
Don't lose it now. Don't lose it. Don't lose it.
some things will never change. Like the great coverage you get on Action News 11. Cheer up, Baltimore. Things are changing for the better.
Glory be. We made it.
Oh, sorry, a little too fast for you?
No, son. I'm used to it.
I just like them driving past Memorial Stadium. I don't think the Colts have moved to Indianapolis yet.
No, not for another 3 years.
3 years, yep.
Maybe they could have run into Eddie Murray. Maybe Dennis Martinez. I don't know. Trying to think of other Orioles that are on the team in 81.
Yeah, Cal was a year away.
Well, now I was going to say that, but Cal, did he not get a few at-bats in 81? I know 82 was his rookie year. Yeah, he got 40 at-bats in 1981.